I'm back in the video, and today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42, which, I'll be real, I feel like this is the first year where I'm like, okay, night 2 is most definitely like 100% almost like a different show. Hey guys, it's Ricky. I'm back in the video, and today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42, which, let's get right into it. I hated the fact that Cameron came up with what he said, because now I'm going to be thinking that, and I'm sure now wrestlers are going to be like, do I really have to be on night 2? But again, the love of the game, because the love of the game will just probably overshadow that when it comes to the wrestlers, because at the end of the day, you're still making the WrestleMania card. So, I mean, who cares Monday or, not Monday, Saturday or Sunday? But night 1 was, I am not gonna lie, if you were solely going to think, should I buy ESPN Plus based off night 1, you would be sorely disappointed. You would be so disappointed. You would almost think about calling your bank and saying, hey, that was not me. That's how night 1 felt. But for people that just weren't probably going to buy it anyway, I already know I was going to buy it, so I didn't really care too much. I think that night 1 was one of those nights where it would have been 100% more, 100% better if you were there. I'll say that, and just because the fact that the matches were not as long as they should have been, in my opinion. It just felt as if it was a Supercard Raw or SmackDown. Night 1 had a cool opener to me with LA Knight and the Usos versus Speed, and the 2 left, well, not necessarily anymore, but Logan Paul and Austin Theory. I was surprised that the Usos and LA Knight won, but I am happy because I did not want to see Logan Paul win at all. Now, of course, they had a little heel turn. Well, is it really a heel turn when Logan Paul is already a heel? But they had a turn with Logan Paul and Speed ended up having his own WrestleMania moment by splashing on top of Logan Paul on the announce table, breaking it. And that has to be one of the coolest things ever. So I don't care if it was not like, oh, there was no, I don't care. I don't care. Jacob Fatu had his unsanctioned match versus Drew McIntyre, which I hope is the last of the feud, because I mean, it's WrestleMania and you have such a huge match, it kind of has to be. Like, if you're still fighting after that, bro, there needs to, I don't know what we gotta do. We got to go out back and get our beef done with. Jacob Fatu had that's an amazing moment for Jacob. The match overall, I think it was a pretty good match. I don't know if it gave WrestleMania, but again, I think it would have been better if I was there. Just saying, WWE, I would have probably enjoyed it 100%. I was playing. No, but I think that it was a good performance off of both of them. Drew McIntyre has been really taking a lot, and I kind of wanted him to have his opportunity of winning at WrestleMania, but I understand the character development for both wrestlers was necessary for Jacob to win. The women's tag team match, a whole range of emotions, because I wanted Lash Legend and, Nia Jax to retain, but I also wanted the Bellas to win. Now, I was hoping that Nikki Bella would be available and healed, injury free, but she wasn't. So they called an old friend, Paige, which they got a pop out of me. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, it was a cheap pop. No, it was a pop. It was a wrestling pop, because whether or not you like Paige, her impact on women's wrestling can't really be denied for, what she did. I am a total divas girl. Y'all already know that. So it was cool. It was cool. And when NAOMI get back, she is going to have a whole reunion. Now, with Paige and Brie winning the titles, my heart feels for Nikki because they finally got the chance to win those tag titles, and now you can't really enjoy it with your sister. I'm sad, but I'm hoping that Nikki gets her chance because it's Nikki Bella. Okay, it's Nikki Bella. You should not get your chance, girl. I don't care what that sounds to anybody. Now, AJ Lee had a match against Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship, and she lost. I lost because of not interference, but the distraction of the referee. I hate that happened because I'm tired of seeing Becky Lynch with that title. I am, because it is a mid card championship, and in times where it would have been fine is if she hadn't had it like 2 other times. That's where I'm like, girl, you don't need this. It could have been a match between AJ Lee and Natalya, and then Natalya winning. Since if AJ was going to take a break, it could have been Natalya winning, because Natalya is, from my perspective as a fan and how people talk about her, is a safe wrestler. So if there was any uncomfortabilities, why not have Natalya as Natty come out with upping her stocks as Natty? What, like, that's where I'm like, okay, man, that was a moment where I'm like, that it was not necessary to really give it to Becky, but it is what it is. Gunther had his match with Seth Rollins, which top tier match. It would have been in a running, I think, for a lot of people of being one of the best matches if night 2 did not happen. But Gunther and Seth Rollins for sure have a lot of chemistry. I would have loved for Gunther to have won cleanly, but they had to make a way for Braun Breaker to make his return. I don't know if y'all watched my predictions video, but I said, hey, Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, one of them gonna pop up. I don't know when, but one of them are gonna pop up, and sure and behold, Braun Breaker popped up, speared Seth Rollins, which allowed Gunther to get one. Did he spear him? No. I don't remember what he did. He distracted him, or rather speared him. And that allowed Gunther to get one over on him, which I was happy about that. The main event, I would say it took a second to get into it, for sure. With whole Pat McAfee, he was more of a distraction, didn't really add to that match, but Cody Rhodes won, so hopefully we don't have to think about that anymore. But as I said, once I got into it without those extra stuff, I think I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how it was really a moment where I think that Randy Orton could have won, but no, it did not happen like that. Cody Rhodes retained, which I told you guys, like, I know, like, rumors is Randy was supposed to win. That's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. And Randy Orton losing wasn't necessary, no. But if the master plan was to make sure Pat McAfee was able to have a break, fine. I'll take it. I'll take it myself. I don't like the angles where they talk about backs because, bro, it starts to be prepared. Every beef, you can't talk about that back. Every beef, y'all can't say, oh, you know, he got that back, though. Like, I'm tired of it. In his irritation because Pat McAfee was the one who came out and was going to be the referee for a little while, that didn't work out that way. So Randy RKO'd him, and Randy was upset about getting pinned. So he punk kicked Cody Rhodes, which that punk kick heard across the world. Cody Rhodes, God bless his heart, because, man, his eye was like, eh. I'm like, y'all can't say wrestling is fake. Y'all really just can't anymore. Y'all can't. Now, night 2. I gotta get close to night 2. Thank you, WWE, for night 2. I got some gripes. But I know it's wrestling, so I can't be happy. And I won't be happy about everything that happens, but it wasn't too bad. Now, Ova and Brock Lesnar opened up the show, and Over almost. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I guess it's a bittersweet moment for a few people because, you know, Brock Lesnar retired and Obafemi retired him. I like to say it's pretty cool when you can decide when you retire, even though how I it's pretty cool when you decide when you want to retire. And Obafemi was the perfect candidate because it's ushers in a new generation of superstars. That's not to say that I expect Obafemi to have, I know, contrary to everybody's belief, that's not saying that I expect Obafemi to have a world title in the next months coming ahead, but it for sure will build his stocks up in a way that it's going to cause some trouble on Raw for sure. And nobody's safe. But that is when I knew night 2 was going to be a spectacle. And that ladder match solidified that. That was a match pure off of adrenaline, energy, and just a love of professional wrestling. Javon Evans, JD McDonough were for sure had the MVPs in that night. They took a lot of the hits, but Javon is insane. That guy literally is built for wrestling for sure. I really was rooting for Javon or I was going to be fine with Penta retaining. So Penta did retain, but I do see him coming across some of the people in that match again. The whole Rusev him thing though, that gotta be done. Dead that, please, please and thank you. We're good. We're good. I'm cool off of that. I did like the moments where Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee teamed up because like if they decided to team up for the whole match just to get everybody else out so they could make it a through way, hey, it was going to be trouble. It would have been trouble. But Penta is still our Intercontinental Championship. But I wonder who down the line is going to take that title. I still think that they should decide to push that button on Javon Evans, making him the youngest Intercontinental Championship. Because why miss a moment where you can make history? And I understand that you don't want to just do anything just for the history making, but with such a talent like Javon Evans, why not give him that accolade? Especially just because I think there's America, not even, I think the whole world is rooting for him in one way or another. Um, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Man, I was not surprised, but then I was kind of surprised at how y'all was not playing about the boos for Sami Zayn at all. Like, I was rooting for Trick Williams, and I'm just not used to the whole crowd being on the same side as I am. I'm just not. And I loved it, truth be told. I think it would have been a little better if it was Carmelo Hayes in that spot, but that's just me. I appreciate the fans just really rallying for Carmelo Hayes in that way. But Trick Williams, it has something for sure. That train was hilarious. But he has something for sure. The connection with the fans was instant, and it's going to continue to go up from here. It literally looked so organic for him to have that title, and I'm excited for what SmackDown is going to hold for us. Backlash is around the corner, and truth be told, I don't see Sami Zayn taking a L lightly like that, but who knows how it's going to end up. This was another moment where I was like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Now, I forgot to talk about Liv Morgan versus Stephanie McCure. I wish Judgment Day wasn't involved, and I wish it was a longer match. Overall, it was a pretty good one, but the Judgment Day really just ruins it for me. I'm sorry. And that's personal preference. That's not even a journalistic thing, journalistic take. Personal preference, I'm cool off the Judgment Day. And I'm honestly glad they had nothing to do with the ladder match. But Demon Finn Balor had a match with Dominic Mysterio and another. I'm glad Judgment Day was involved in that. But I really wish that they surprised us with Finn Balor's alter ego, or at least had us see exactly the transition happening. Because I just think the pop would have hit a bit more. It would have. I was not surprised that he won against Dominic Mysterio. A long time coming. I just need this needs to be Dom's humbling era. Truth be told, let's like, and I hate to say that because I'm not for humbling folks, but I'm cool. Dominic, it's time for him to just kind of separate from Judgment Day, and I think if he loses everything and sees like, hey, I gotta do this on my own, he's going to for real come back in shape, and I think it'll be 100% more dangerous. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Personal preference again. I did not want to see Rhea Ripley win at all. Not because I dislike her. I don't dislike her. I just see that there was an opportunity to solidify Jade Cargill, and they didn't take it. They didn't take it. I know, yeah, you guys may say how long she had the title or this, and that, but she didn't have a chance to really go against another main event star and really show her skills, because after that match, you could tell that Jade Cargill has skill. You could tell the work that she's been putting in, and no amount of hatred, no amount of what you would call disrespecting can take that away from her. But with the help of Io Sky, Rhea Ripley wins the women's championship. I'm wondering how that's going to be. I was kind of surprised because, I mean, Raw has been the show Rhea Ripley has been on for a while. So now who's going to be traded onto Raw since Rhea is now on SmackDown? That another thing that solidified WrestleMania Night 2. It was the main event. I do not throw around this world lightly. And I know a lot of people are going to think, because, obviously, I like Roman Reigns. Obviously, you guys think, somebody might think, hey, you're just being a little biased. No, I'm genuinely being real and honest. That had to be a classic match. It had to be a classic match. And honestly, it's fighting for the best Sunday main event in a booter. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, it was 39, no, it was 39. No, this one was it, because this had decades worth of tension, a decade worth of tension, a decade in the making. But it did not disappoint, because when you're waiting for a long time for a match, it doesn't meet your expectations. This surpassed my expectations. It didn't have any interruptions or interferences, just plain old hatred, as like one of us is going to run out of energy, one of us is going to run out of steam, and it's not going to be me. That was it for the two of them. And it also just showed the progression in their characters. And honestly, I think that I believe that it wasn't one or the other getting more respect for each other, like as a person, but as a wrestler, I believe that they found a middle ground there. And if they ever wanted to do it again, I'd be seated for 100%. And I think that they need to stay away from each other for a little while, though, because you can't pull that out like lightly. Now I'm like, goodness gracious, we're gonna have conversations because y'all have been doing Roman Reigns badly, putting dirt on his name, but those conversations must be had. And it was not a carry job on either end. I don't think there was a carry job at all this WrestleMania. So it wasn't a carry job. Roman stood on his own, and a lot of people doubted the fact that he was staying on his own. And Cody Rhodes, CM Punk himself said, like, this is professional wrestling versus cinema. But at the end of the day, it was both. And even then, cinema wins. But finally, Roman Reigns is back on top where he belongs, and it is a refresh locker room, a lot of new meat. And at a post conference, there was a lot of Oba chants, and he addressed Oba Femi, And I don't think they're gonna pull that trigger first off the bat. I don't want it to, because I need Oprah to kind of sit in the fact that he retired Brock Lesnar. But we can't have, Roman's not gonna lose. I don't want Roman to lose that easily. But you guys, let me know how you guys felt about WrestleMania. What was your favorite moment? What was your least favorite moment? Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.